All right, I figured the place to start is go with whatever length I can get out of this for the two rails, the top rail, the top flange and the bottom flange. And then I'll figure out what I have to use out of those 10 3/4 that I want to make up, and we'll figure it out from there. So I've got to resaw this. Okay, what I did is I took it, I knew I wasn't going to be able to use all of that, so I got it close. I definitely want to save this. That's to me, that's some cool stuff. And then I want to try to save, I want to have a rough sawn finish on all sides. So what I did was I have somewhat of a smooth thing here, but not a lot. That'll be close enough. So I'm going to, my next cut is actually to put this part against the fence, so I save it, and then cut it down to 3 inches, or a little over, about 3 1/8, so I don't have anything short of 3. All right, so I've got the 3 inches I want. I also have it down there. So that's my 3 inches. Now, I didn't want to have to resaw any more material than height-wise, so that's why I did that first. So now I'm going to do my resaw, and again, I've got 2 1/8, 2 1/4. So I'm going to set my blade at 1 and about 1/16, and then that should get me pretty close to what I need. All right, let's see what we've got. So definitely red oak. So here's my top flange. No, this is my top flange. And this is my bottom flange. I'm going to clean it up just a little bit more. No, I'll leave it rough. Yeah, let's just leave it rough. Okay, I have my 2 flanges. I have the top and the bottom. I'll decide later which is which. I might as well clean up the ends of them just a little bit. Based on the length of what I'm going to have available for this prototype number 2, I'm going to stick with oak. Oak. That's ash. That's oak, maple. But this is some oak here. So I'm going to stick, I think that'll be enough for this. The rest of it I'll set aside. And so the next thing is to take them down to 3 inches. And I'm going to do that with the bandsaw because I want to keep this rough texture going. Again, to each his own, right? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I like the rough texture, so I'm going to keep that. So I'm going to use that instead of the table saw. Okay, so they're all cut to 3 inches. I could have cut them first, like the 10 3/4, but I'm okay. So this one was about 2 inches. I'm going to resaw it to 1 inch. So the specs call for 10 3/4. This is where we want to start doing the accurate part of rustic stuff, is that we want to have good clean ends because that's the end that we're going to put the tongue on. Same thing with the other end. So before I measure, I am going to first take a look at the board, see what I like and what I don't like. Color-wise, there's some darker color here, but I think it's about the same. So I'm going to take the ends off like this. This is going to be where, when I'm done cutting, I'm going to leave the blade down in the pocket until it stops. That way that little tiny piece doesn't go flying all over the place. I think it went down in. Oh well, you get the idea. Now if I was doing 30 of them, I'd set up a jig. I might even do that. Give me a second here. Okay, so what I did is not enough room to set up a jig or a stop. So I just made a mark at the other end on the table, and that's what I'm going to use for cutting all of these. That's close enough for this. Okay, so some of this was already close to 1 inch, so I'll keep those, set those aside. These are obviously larger than. That's 1 inch. These 3 are all larger than 1 inch, and I want 1 inch. I want roughs on. So instead of using a planer or joiner, I'll take these to the bandsaw again. Cool stuff. This is why it's always good to check stuff early on, because I used that sled, and when I did that, it reduced the cut by what it's supposed to do. So this board is basically useless. So it's a good lesson in my part to not do that again, Michael. I'll fix it here.